The notion of beginning anew is, in its essence, a call to redefine who we are. It is easy to imagine a new life as a fresh beginning, but it is not always clear how to achieve it. The truth is, a new life begins within the soul, in the very core of our being, and the transformation we desire begins with a choice to live differently, to think differently, to be different. The first step toward a new life is acknowledging that we are the architects of our own reality. This does not mean denying the influence of external factors, but it does mean recognizing that we and we alone are responsible for our reactions, decisions, and direction. Too often we feel helpless, as though life happens to us, but the reality is far more empowering. Our lives are the results of the countless choices we make each day. If you want a new life, you must first begin by taking responsibility for the one you have. Accept that your past, your habits, and your thoughts are not mere products of fate. They are the consequences of your own actions. Once we take responsibility, we must also begin the process of transforming our minds. To start a new life is not only to alter our behaviors, but to change our thinking. Your beliefs shape your perceptions, and your perceptions shape your actions. If you continue to believe that you are incapable of change, you will not change. But if you believe in the possibility of transformation, your entire approach to life will shift. This is where the true power lies. Not in the world around you, but in the way you interpret and respond to it. The mind is the soil in which the seeds of a new life are sown, and it is the gardener who tends to it. Begin by examining your thoughts, for they will determine your destiny. We must recognize that lasting change does not come overnight. It comes through disciplined action, repeated consistently over time. The new life you seek is not the result of a single grand gesture, but rather the sum of many small, deliberate choices made each day. The habits you cultivate, whether consciously or unconsciously, will define your future. It is in the routine that the foundation of a new life is built. Choose to read, to think, to act in ways that support the life you wish to create. Do not expect a transformation to appear all at once, but rather see it as the product of continual, intentional effort. Starting a new life is not about seeking some external revolution. It is about an internal revolution, a transformation of mind, heart, and action. It is a choice to live differently, to think differently, to be different. And with each step, with each choice, a new life is born. The power of personal responsibility is the cornerstone of starting a new life. It begins with the recognition that we are not merely passive recipients of life's events, but active participants who shape our own reality. Too often, we fall into the trap of viewing ourselves as victims of circumstance, attributing our present situation to the actions of others, bad luck, or forces beyond our control. While there may be external influences that affect our lives, the true power lies in how we respond to them. Acknowledging that we are responsible for the choices we make empowers us to take charge of our future, even when faced with adversity. This is the first and most crucial step in creating lasting change. Taking personal responsibility means accepting ownership of our decisions, actions, and their consequences. It's about understanding that we are the ones who determine how we react to life's challenges. When we choose to blame external forces for our problems, we relinquish control and become passive in the face of our own existence. But when we embrace the fact that our choices, whether they are related to our career, relationships, or personal habits are within our control, we begin to open the door to transformation. The choices we make each day, no matter how small they may seem, accumulate over time to create the life we live. Acknowledging this truth means understanding that every decision, whether it concerns our work ethic, the way we interact with others, or how we manage our time, carries significant weight in shaping our future. Personal responsibility goes beyond just taking ownership of the good or easy things in life. It also means owning the difficult moments, the mistakes, and the failures. Often we are quick to take credit for our successes, but slow to accept responsibility for our shortcomings. This is a critical mistake. If we are to genuinely change, we must recognize that our failures are just as much a part of our life's design as our successes. Eventually, by accepting full responsibility for both the positive and negative aspects of our life, we free ourselves from the cycle of blame and defensiveness. We stop pointing fingers and start looking inward to learn from our experiences. This shift in perspective is what allows for real growth, as it forces us to confront our shortcomings, learn from them, and take active steps to correct them. Responsibility is also tied to the power of choice. No matter the situation, we always have the ability to choose our response. This does not mean that we are always in control of what happens to us, but it means that we are always in control of how we respond to it. Take, for example, a person who faces a financial setback. One individual might react by succumbing to despair and helplessness, feeling that the situation is hopeless. Another might see the setback as an opportunity to reassess their approach, make a plan for recovery, and take proactive steps to improve their financial situation. The difference lies not in the external circumstances, but in the internal decision to take responsibility for one's reaction. In this way, responsibility becomes the key to unlocking the potential for change. End quote. When we take responsibility, we choose to approach life with a mindset that is solution-orientated rather than problem-focused. This power of choice is the heart of personal responsibility. It means that no matter what we face, we always have the ability to choose how we engage with the world. Even in situations where we feel helpless, the power to choose how we view the situation and how we respond lies within us. By recognizing this, we realize that we are not victims of our circumstances, but active creators of our own narrative. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we allow it to affect us and how we decide to move forward. It is this recognition that transforms our sense of powerlessness into a sense of agency, propelling us toward action rather than inaction. Taking responsibility also means acknowledging the impact of our choices on others. Our actions do not occur in isolation, and they ripple outward, affecting the people around us. The relationships we build, the trust we earn, and the opportunities we create are all a direct result of the choices we make. When we take ownership of our actions, we understand that we are not only shaping our own life, but also influencing the lives of those with whom we interact. This realization brings a deeper level of accountability and encourages us to make choices that are aligned with our values and integrity. The importance of shifting mindsets cannot be overstated when it comes to starting a new life. Change is not only an outward transformation, it begins with an inner revolution, a shift in the way we perceive ourselves, the world around us, and our place in it. Our mindset governs how we interpret the circumstances of our lives, how we react to challenges, and how we approach opportunities. If we want to begin a new life, the first step is to reframe our thinking, to adopt a mindset that aligns with the person we wish to become, rather than clinging to the thoughts and beliefs that have kept us rooted in the past. One of the most powerful ways to shift our mindset is by changing the narratives we tell ourselves. We all carry internal stories about who we are, what we are capable of, and what the world expects of us. These stories shape our actions, and often they hold us back. For instance, if someone has always believed they are not good enough to succeed, that belief will limit their potential. Their actions, conscious or unconscious, will reflect this belief, and they may avoid taking risks or pursuing opportunities for fear of failure. However, the moment we challenge these limiting beliefs and rewrite the narrative, we open up new possibilities. Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," one could start saying, "I am capable of growth and change, and I can learn from any experience." This shift in self-perception allows us to act in alignment with our true potential instead of being held back by the chains of outdated thinking. Shifting our mindset also involves recognizing and overcoming the self-imposed barriers that limit our progress. These barriers are often formed by negative thought patterns, such as fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the belief that success is only for a select few. These thoughts can be incredibly powerful, creating a mental prison that keeps us from stepping outside our comfort zone. To begin a new life, we must break free from these mental shackles. A key part of this process is embracing the idea that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities, but a necessary part of growth. In fact, failure can be seen as a valuable teacher, providing us with insights and lessons that can ultimately lead to success. By changing how we view failure, seeing it not as a defeat, but as an opportunity to learn, we remove the fear that holds us back from trying new things and pursuing our goals. At the same time, it's important to acknowledge that mindset shifts are not instantaneous. They require consistent effort and practice. A person cannot simply wake up one day and expect to think differently without actively working to do so. It is through repetition, reflection, and a conscious effort to challenge old patterns of thought that we begin to reprogram our mindset. This might involve taking time each day to practice gratitude, affirming our strengths, or visualizing our goals. Over time, these small shifts accumulate, gradually changing how we view ourselves and the world around us. As the mind begins to shift, so too does the person's experience of life. This is the essence of transformation, a subtle yet profound change in the way we perceive ourselves and our surroundings. Another vital aspect of mindset transformation is the need to embrace possibility over limitation. Many people get stuck in a mindset that focuses on what they don't have or what they can't do. They look at their circumstances and see only obstacles rather than opportunities. This mindset can be crippling, leaving them feeling powerless and hopeless. However, a shift to a mindset of possibility opens the door to creativity, resourcefulness, and hope. By focusing on what can be done rather than what cannot, we begin to see new solutions and pathways that were once hidden from view. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," a mindset shift encourages the question, "What steps can I take to make this possible?" This subtle but profound shift changes the way we approach challenges and turns barriers into stepping stones. Adopting a growth mindset is crucial in this process. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. People with a growth mindset are more likely to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and view effort as the path to mastery. On the other hand, a fixed mindset, the belief that our abilities are static and unchangeable, can lead to stagnation and fear of failure. The key to starting a new life is cultivating the belief that we are not limited by our current circumstances or inherent traits, but that we have the capacity to grow and improve. This mindset encourages resilience, the ability to keep going even when things are difficult, and the willingness to learn from mistakes. It empowers us to take risks and step outside of our comfort zones because we know that we can adapt, learn, and become better in the process. Shifting our mindset requires letting go of the notion of perfection. Perfectionism is a mindset that paralyzes progress, as it creates an unrealistic standard that is impossible to meet. People trapped in perfectionistic thinking often procrastinate or avoid taking action altogether because they fear that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. To begin a new life, it is essential to let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on progress. Progress is about taking consistent steps forward, even if they are small or imperfect. Embracing the idea that done is better than perfect allows us to move through life with greater ease, creativity, and confidence. It frees us from the fear of judgment and the paralysis that perfectionism brings, allowing us to take action and continue moving toward our goals. Shifting our mindset is the key to unlocking our potential and starting a new life. When we change how we think about ourselves, our abilities, and the world around us, we create a foundation for lasting transformation. Our thoughts shape our actions, and our actions shape our future. By embracing a mindset of growth, possibility, and self-belief, we set ourselves on a path toward becoming the person we are capable of being. The role of habit and discipline is critical when it comes to starting a new life. While motivation and inspiration are often the catalysts for change, it is the consistent everyday actions shaped by habits that determine the lasting success of any transformation. Without discipline, the momentum gained from a burst of motivation quickly fades, and the change we seek becomes nothing more than a fleeting aspiration. The foundation of a new life, is built on the small, deliberate choices we make daily. These choices, repeated over time, form the habits that ultimately shape our future. One of the most important things to recognize is that habits are not simply actions. They are the products of our repeated decisions. The human mind tends to favor routine because it conserves mental energy. Once something becomes habitual, it no longer requires active thought or effort. This is why habits are so powerful. They operate on autopilot, running in the background of our lives, influencing our behavior with minimal conscious input. The challenge, however, is that many of us have formed habits that do not align with the person we want to become. These habits, whether they are procrastination, negative thinking, or poor time management, are deeply ingrained and can be difficult to change. To start a new life, we must replace these counterproductive habits with ones that support the transformation we wish to achieve. The process of cultivating new habits requires intentionality. It is not enough to simply decide that we want to change. We must be deliberate in our actions, taking small steps toward our goals every single day. This might mean waking up earlier to exercise, setting aside time for personal growth and reflection, or committing to learning a new skill. The key to building lasting habits is consistency. Research shows that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. But this timeline can vary depending on the complexity of the habit and the individual. The more we repeat a desired behavior, the more it becomes ingrained in our daily routine. It is through this repetition that habits are formed, and over time, they become the building blocks of a new life. Another essential aspect of cultivating effective habits is understanding the role of discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay committed to a course of action, even when motivation wanes. Motivation is fleeting, often influenced by external factors or emotions. Discipline, however, is the internal force that pushes us to keep going when the initial excitement wears off. It is what allows us to continue working toward our goals when the process feels difficult or the results are not immediately visible. Without discipline, we are likely to abandon our efforts when challenges arise, and our new life will remain a distant dream rather than a reality. Discipline requires the development of self-control, the ability to say no to distractions and temptations in favor of long-term gains. It is through discipline that we create the consistency necessary to transform our actions into habits and ultimately our habits into results. Discipline also involves setting clear, achievable goals. It's not enough to say, "I want to start a new life." We must break down that broad goal into smaller, actionable steps that can be incorporated into our daily routine. Setting specific, measurable, and realistic goals helps provide a sense of direction and purpose. These goals act as guideposts, helping us stay on track and remain focused on the long-term outcome. For example, instead of simply aiming to be healthier, we might set a goal to exercise for 30 minutes every morning or to prepare a nutritious meal each evening. By making our goals specific and actionable, we give ourselves a clear framework within which to build new habits. To setting goals, it is important to track progress. Monitoring our habits and the progress we are making toward our goals is a powerful motivator, as it allows us to see how far we've come. Tracking helps identify areas of improvement and highlights patterns of behavior that either support or hinder our success. It provides feedback that can inform adjustments to our approach, making it easier to stay committed and maintain discipline. Whether it is through journaling, using an app, or simply checking off completed tasks on a to-do list, tracking gives us a tangible sense of accomplishment and accountability. Another key aspect of developing discipline and building habits is learning to embrace discomfort. Starting a new life requires us to step outside our comfort zones, which often feels uncomfortable and uncertain. Whether it's waking up early to exercise, facing the fear of failure when starting a new project, or resisting the urge to procrastinate, these moments of discomfort are essential for growth. It is in these moments that we develop resilience, the ability to push through challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. Discipline teaches us to stay focused on the long-term benefits, even when the short-term discomfort is tempting us to give up. By embracing discomfort, we train ourselves to persevere, ultimately making the process of change more manageable. An important aspect of habit and discipline that is often overlooked is the role of rest and recovery. We live in a culture that often emphasizes hustle and constant productivity, but true discipline requires knowing when to rest. Consistent action is essential for building habits, but so is allowing ourselves time to recharge. Overworking ourselves can lead to burnout, which in turn can derail progress. Rest and recovery are essential components of sustainable change. Taking time to relax, reflect, and reset helps maintain balance, preventing the feeling of overwhelm and ensuring that we can continue to work toward our goals with renewed energy and focus. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to strengthen habits and maintain discipline is through accountability. When we are accountable to someone else, whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a support group, we are more likely to stay committed to our goals. Accountability creates a sense of responsibility and encourages consistency. Knowing that someone else is expecting us to follow through can provide the necessary motivation to keep going, even on days when our discipline falters. Sharing our goals with others and checking in regularly increases the likelihood of success, as it holds us accountable to both ourselves and the people who care about our progress. Habits and discipline are the engines that drive personal transformation. Starting a new life is not about a single grand act of change. It's about the small, consistent actions we take every day. By cultivating positive habits, developing discipline, setting clear goals, and holding ourselves accountable, we create a framework for lasting change. Over time, these small, deliberate choices accumulate, transforming our lives and helping us become the person we aspire to be.